an update on my previous videos. So I did upgrade, if you want, this cover, which I did explain in other videos. I believe it came, the original one, with brushes that are too hard. The material of the brushes, the two brushes here, I think at the origin, the cars when they were new came with brushes that material was too stiff, and that causes wear on the copper rings inside, and finally it destroys this hub, ECVVT motor hub, electric motor hub, and you need to replace the hub, the chain, tensioner, everything, open it. It's a several $1,000s job, so it's better to get this early. Anyway, when I did replace this thing, which you need to remove the engine mount, support the engine carefully underneath the belt, the oil pan, careful not to use a piece of wood not to bend the pan, but I did put also this brush and cover updated models, and when I did open it, on top of the wear on the commutator part, there was also some oil inside. Why? We are in Canada, so you know there is an oil plug in the center of the hub, and in Canada there was actually a recall early on. I know this car was serviced in 2016 or so. It's a 2015. It was brought to Hyundai. I have the paperwork, and they say they did replace the oil cap. The original one was brown color with black color, which seals better in the center, so stops any leaks. Well, actually, when I did remove the cover, I could find it's still the brown cup, oil cup in there, which was leaking a little bit, not too much, but that means that someone at Hyundai, some technician, had fun saying I've done the job and he didn't do it. That, just bear in mind, may happen. Anyway, we I just find this recently, now 10 years later. Anyway, that's to say that when I did remove this cover, there was some oil inside. So I put new cover, and I also did wipe the oil really several times until everything was pristine. And now I came back to check, and I find out that, you don't see it because I already cleaned it, this brush here, which turns to be the higher copper ring, if you want. So it's this that I'm touching now was still smeared with oil and black. It was looking black, this one. The other one, it was clean just like now. I didn't touch it. This one was black. I did wipe it a little bit. It's still kind of darker. So what happens here is that even if you clean everything with oil, that oil actually doesn't stay just inside this cup. It's also, when it's leaking, the oil cup, so that oil also leaks inside the motor hub. So the things, when you remove this cup, you'll see those copper rings piece, but actually that's a piece that sits into the hub, but there is a gap around that piece, and oil, because this spins at high speed, oil will get inside the hub as well, engine oil. So even if you clean everything inside, put a new cover, new brushes, clean everything spotless, when the car is going to run again, the oil from inside the hub is going to smear again inside here, and that's the point for my video. And obviously I'm not going to remove the cover every time, like every 1,000 miles, to clean it again and again, because it's never ending, right? The oil will smear. So I think one of the things that, I don't know how good it is to do this, I use this electrical contact cleaner, which is pretty much the same as brake cleaner, but we no longer can purchase brake cleaner in Canada because it was those environmental regulations. Anyway, so I did remove this. It's not a sensor, it's really just brushes, basically a brushes piece. I didn't even disconnect it. It has a TIF25 Torx, and I use this way to grab the tip and make sure you hold the tip securely, because if you drop it in there, you know, maybe it gets on the belt, so careful with this. It's a bit tight, so I don't think just the regular pliers will do, either this or locking pliers. And also you cannot put a wrench on there, so it's too tight. There is no space because of this entry mount. Yes, I just sprayed one push or two in there of contact cleaner. You need to keep this bottle vertical and just kind of orient use the other hand to toss a bit the straw to aim inside. I did spray it, and I'm not going to drive the car for a few days because you don't want this thing here. If you just spray it on the surface, you will see it doesn't really go right, it doesn't evaporate right away. It may even stay one day there if you spray more. If you just spray a film, very thin film, is going to evaporate fast. But just do a test. This thing, I can tell you, it may take more than one day when it's liquid, like a certain amount of liquid. So I will just let the car rest for 2 days maybe, just to be safe. I don't want to drive the car with liquid in between these contacts, right? So it doesn't make the wrong contact in between the two, and then the ECVT may operate poorly, and it may stretch the timing chain. I don't want to have problems. That's why I'm saying, if you do so, give the car at least 2 days to have that stuff dry, and don't spray more than 2 or 3 pushes. 2-3 times press, short press, yes, right, because you can press and press for 5 seconds. Just 1, 2, or maybe 3 short presses, no more. If you want to do something else, it's your choice, you take your chances. Anyway, so I'm going just to do this once in a while. Hopefully it's going to sort of mix with the oil that's inside the cup now, that has leaked from the ECVT hub, and is going to degrade that oil, kind of make it, I don't know, more, maybe help it evaporate faster. So this is the only way I can find to keep inside slightly cleaner, because I don't want really that oil, oil when it gets on the brushes, on the contacts, copper contacts, it kind of becomes gunk because of the heat. It degrades, becomes like a gunk, and maybe that electrical contact doesn't work properly at some point. So you don't want oil in there. You see when people had problems with check engine P0010 and open the cup and find it full with oil. Yes, it works for a while with oil in it, but ideally there should be no oil in between electric contacts. So you have the ECVVT hub operate normally. Let me just throw one more information which probably will never find on YouTube, which I got from one forum from one electrician guy. So again, what happens here is in 2015, this is the same 2.4 engine 2.0T that was launched in 2011, I believe. But in 2011, 2014, they had one of those solenoids for the timing chain hubs. In 2015, they replaced those solenoids, which was also problematic, with an electric motor. This is really an electric motor which is changing the timing advance electronically. And that electric motor actually has these brushes, those copper ring piece, and the part that very few know, that copper ring piece actually inside has another set of brushes. 2 brushes inside, different than this one. It's inside the hub, which those brushes also run around copper rings inside. And that's the how this motor is done. So if you want, when everything is smeared with oil inside, those 2 brushes that are inside also get smeared with oil, and those are not accessible. It's impossible to get to them unless you remove the hub completely, the motor. And also those 2 brushes will wear as well, but because the inner copper rings are a smaller diameter, those 2 brushes will, if you want, will go a shorter distance for each turn. So imagine one full turn, because the inner copper rings are small diameter, about 1.5 inch. The brushes on it will just, for 1 ton, will travel, I don't know, 2 PR or something like this is a math equation. So will travel a small distance. So those inner copper rings will wear much slower than the outer one, which are bigger diameter, and for 1 ton this outer one will wear out faster, especially actually the outer, there's 2 rings, the outer rings with larger diameter, that's the one that wears out first usually. So I'll give you that kind of information. Anyhow, all this to say that even those 2 inner brushes which sit a bit like this, they are covered with oil. I have no way to access them. It's impossible. Yes, great design, Hyundai. I mean, the design is good. It's just that they put that poor quality oil cup in the center. Probably that's a bolt that fixes the hub. I don't know how it works, and they put a cup to prevent engine oil from leaking from there. Just because that piece that actually in colder weather starts leaking oil, just because of that we have all these problems. But this is just half the problem. The other half of the problem, like I said in the beginning of the video, is that these brushes, in my opinion, originally, and perhaps the internal one as well, are too hard. The material can be several hardnesses, several types of graphite with metal powder or something like this. So they choose to put too hard, and it's eating completely those copper rings from around 100,000 miles and up. And when it's the copper rings outer one get destroyed, the inner one will last much longer. Like I said, they spend more or less, its smaller diameter spends less distance. But when these outer rings get destroyed, especially the outer one of the 2, then you get the P0010 code, check engine, and it's too late already, probably. I'm not sure, but probably the timing chain has already stretched. Anyway, it's a full job to remove everything on the side here, and remove chain, hub, and I don't know what else. Okay, all this to say that keep an eye on these things, and it's sad that these kind of problems are just causing more trouble with these engines.